Hey guys, Game for 15, back at it with another video for you guys, and I am back talking some more Zenless Zone Zero. Now I did not do a trailer breakdown, a special program like live stream reaction to what happened since it released early in the morning. I have to actually see how I can do that to maybe see how I can be able to see the stream and then get my real-time reactions as I'm watching that. I actually want to see if I can do that for you guys, if you guys want me to do that. But the special program for version 2.2 came out today, and we basically got a sneak peek at what's going to be expected for the new update that will be coming out officially on September 4th, which is in about I think 2 weeks from now, if I look at my calendar on my phone. Yeah, about 2 weeks. So we got at least got this weekend, and then this next week, and then the at least up to the 3rd of September, for people that need to still pull for Alice. So yes, I'm loving Alice. I like Alice as an agent. She's been great. I do need to get our anomaly mastery up a lot higher, but I'm not going to waste all these resources. But anyways, we got the special program and everything. So yeah. So yeah, the embers of the light still linger, spoiling the calm of a quiet dream. New agent Seed, Orphie, and Magus will be coming soon, along with new story content and everything. There is obviously they gave you obviously at the end of the live stream they gave a special redemption code, which is Obel Squad. So type that in before the 24th, so you can get your free 300 polychromes and stuff like that. So we're gonna kind of go down, it's gonna be a simple little breakdown, nothing too special about anything. So yeah, but the new main story chapter, do not go gentle into that good night. The embers of the last night still linger, um, spoiling the calm of a quiet dream. They did show the trailer in the special report, or the special preview. I don't know if whatever we're getting here, I don't know if it's gonna be like freaking Zenless Zone Zero 1.4 type of like things going on, but it seems action packed. It definitely seems action packed. It seems like the Exaltists, they're gonna go crazy this next upcoming update, to say the least. It seems like they're even going to be starting to attack the people of Failum Heights now, and getting the public involved in this. Because remember, they did have an influence of, like, in 2.0, they did try to have miasma be spread around Failum Heights, and everything with all that drugs. But yeah, but we'll see where it goes. The trailer looked crazy, to say the least. I don't know what's gonna happen, but the defense force led by Solde, she's gonna get involved and basically tell the defense force, no, we gotta help take down the freaking Exaltus, which I'm just like, okay, great. I'm like, finally, we have a freaking police force that seemingly is looking to take down the defense force. I know, obviously, we have our public security members, but I don't think they're going to be involved anytime soon. And honestly, they kind of just deal with local issues. So I don't think we'll see. I think we'll occasionally see Ju Yuen and Xing Yi and the other, and Seth and the others here and there. But like, this is kind of like a world-breaking threat. I'm also quite shocked that Miyabi in Section 6 would not be involved in this, because they did play a role in this, unless, yeah, whatever. But I guess the Defense Force, they can freely do whatever they want. So, Isolde, based on the last back half of of 2.1, with Alice and Yuzuha's story, I think she's like, no, this is probably a bigger issue that we need to deal with, because that's the thing. It also seems like Ishwen is going to be coming out to help us out again. Makes sense. I do hope I do hope the other Yunqui Summit members like Ju Fufu and Pan Yu and the other guy help out. Probably not. From what the way the trailers look, it looked like it's only to be Ishwen, which means they'll conveniently try to find a way to write out Pan Yu and Jufufu. Probably the whole thing of like, no, you guys need to stay in the city area and make sure everything's good. But that's kind of it. It seems like it seems interesting. I don't know where the story in terms of the main stuff is going to go and how the defense force is going to get involved in this whole thing. Obviously, the whole goal is to take down the Exaltus. And also apparently Sarah, who is well, I guess one of the big wigs in the Exaltus. Apparently, it seems like she's gonna have a bigger, from what the leaks say, she's gonna have a bigger influence in the story. So maybe we'll have a moment where we see Sarah actually do something or something. I don't know. We'll just have to see. But yeah, that's kind of it. And also, it seems like Isolde is also working alongside Magus again, which is the tail portion of Orphie. And it seems like they've known each other for quite a long time. So that's the thing there, right? So yeah. Um, Seed is actually we're actually getting a character story, a Seed character agent story, which is the first since Jufufu. So we're getting another character story. So I don't know if like maybe the next update 2.3 it's just gonna be main story stuff and then whatever the hell the back half is the back. Honestly, personally, if you ask me, I'd rather have it to where it's main story in the first half and then character story in the second half for at least one of the new agents. Personally, I just don't see why we can't get like an agent story of Seed and Orpheus because they're kind of mysterious. Maybe we'll get more of Orpheus, Orpheus and Magus' story in the main story as opposed to Seed because in the special preview they did hint like Seed is like a special character. One we find out that Seed, Senior, the robot mech, actually took care of Seed, the girl, and just shut down and has been basically in like a hibernated state or something, just been asleep, right? And Seed just takes control, when necessary, right? So I don't know what that's about. She also in the special preview because Seed is voice acted by Monica Rial, right? I don't know who the Orpheus voice actress is, but what I do know is Seed's voice actress is Monica Rial. Boy, I watch a bunch of anime, so I know Monica's Rial's voice. But then, which also the fact is, she actually did voice act a character, an evil character in Trigger's story, right? So with the fact that they actually have her voice in a main agent character, it only makes sense. Like, okay, then that means like other characters we've heard of that are probably more well-known voice actors, they potentially could actually voice a main character. Obviously, Colleen Klinkenbeard in the Astra Yao storyline voice acted the main villain in Astra's story. So who's to say that maybe Colleen returns to voice an actual agent in it, just from what Monica Rial did. So that's the thing. And look, I'm a Brittany Karbowski fan. Like, as much as I like her voicing the freaking W Engine Gadget Girl, and she also, I think, voice acts like one of Ellen's friends or something like that. I would hope she voice acts a character. Obviously, if your schedule's available, right, to do it, would voice an agent character. I could definitely see her maybe potentially voicing one of the Angel of Delusion characters. That would definitely make sense with her type of voice acting range and role. So we'll see. I think that would be a perfect casting there. But yeah, we'll see. But Monica Rial is the voice actor of Seed. But it seems like with Seed, she also has like this, one area in Hollow Zero where she just stays by herself, right? And everything. And she talks in Bang Boo. I don't know if that is supposed to lead on or mean anything special, but okay. I guess we'll see where that ends up going and stuff like that. So I don't know. And then apparently she alluded that, her and the proxy smell the same. So is she something to do with the old Capitol? I don't know. I guess maybe and everything. So yeah, and then I also forgot to mention there's a part of the end of the trailer for 2.2 where there was this voice talking about my children, Faithin. So I'm guessing that must be Carol Arna. So that's my best case. I don't know, but it's cool to see that we're gonna actually get a character story involving involving Seed and everything. So, there's that, and I'm definitely happy. I'm definitely happy about that. So, I'll definitely take it. Right. I'll definitely take it. So yeah, I'm just happy about that. I'm definitely happy about that because it's like good. We need a character story because going through this freaking agent, right? This patch of the back half of 2.1, it's been really, and I mean really boring. So because we've only gotten the events, right? We've only gotten the events. We haven't gotten, anything that has to do with, you know, anything that has to do with what's his face, any story related. You would think maybe we get an Alice character story. No, we haven't got an Alice character story, so I hope that Zenless Zone Zero, they at least give us like at least a story relation to a character or something in the back half if you're not gonna have a story portion. Otherwise, honest to goodness, maybe have like one half of the story be like up to a good point because we know these stories from the main story have been getting quite long. Maybe have one half, leave off on a cliffhanger, and then in the back half of the patch, right, you upload the rest of the story that goes instead of doing it in one full go. But that's how Zenless wants to do. I'm just throwing out some ideas. So yes, obviously the new S ranks are gonna be Seed and Seed, Orphie, and then Magus. So in the first half, it's gonna be Seed as the S rank, and the rerun S rank is actually going to be Trigger. Trigger is gonna be the S rank rerun unit, and then the A ranks is gonna be Ambi and Nicole. And then for the back half of the patch phase 2, it's gonna be Orphie and Magus, who's the S rank. And essentially what is going to actually be happening is the rerun agent is going to be Evelyn. The A ranks are going to be Lucy and Antoine, and stuff like that, right? So there's that. Now, the thing is, the C banner is going to be dropping on September 4th, and it's going to be going on to September 24th, which is about 2-3 weeks. And then the Orphie and Magus banner will go on from September 24th to October 14th. And in that lead up, obviously, we'll get the 2.3 stuff. I'm not pulling for Seed. Now, I said in my videos, I'm not pulling for Seed or Orphie and Magus. I'm just not. I think I'm gonna just skip these banners. Albeit, when I did see Orpheus's kit and everything with the stuff that they broke down, it does seem like she does seem like an interesting character to play as. I think I'm probably gonna skip it. If I do pull for a character, it might more than likely be Orphie and Magus, but we'll see. I probably am not going to pull on this for this patch. But if I play as Orphie and I'm liking her play style, it would be pretty crazy, and I'd probably pull for that. So yeah, their W engines. For Seed, it's the Cordless Germina, and then for Orphie and Magus, it's Bellicose Blaze. So that's kind of the thing there. Their kits seem really interesting to say the least as well. In a weird way, I guess Seed is kind of gonna be like, you know, in a weird way, she's an attack electric unit, but she's also got the feeling of like a support. Like she supports other, electric type unit, or not other electric type, other attack units, right? And then her play style is like, yes, she rides on like a scooter and she does these long range attacks, but when she's dishing out some powerful attacks, she basically goes into the mech, and then obviously her ultimate is like a first person shooter type of thing. I know people have been speaking up about Seed because of the feet and everything, and most people kind of been turned off with Seed, mostly because they thought it was going to be the mech, not this girl or whatever. But yes. Anyways, we actually are getting some Bang Boos, right? Some new Bang Boos. Mercury is going to be the Defense Force, strictly Bang Boo. So finally, the Defense Force got their own Bang Boo. It seems like he's gonna be like a fire type bang boo, and everything. And then you got Excalibur, which you're able to get in a event, which is one of the which is one of the events, which I believe is the events that I'll talk about in a bit. We got two new disc drives. One is Dawn's Bloom, and the other one is Moonlight Lullaby. Obviously, these disc drives are going to be specially fit for Seed and Orphie. So that's the thing. For Dawn's Bloom, the two-piece set increases basic attack damage by 15%. Four-piece set increases basic attack damage by 20% when equipped by an attack character using an EX special or ultimate will further increase basic attack damage by 20% for 25 seconds. Repeated triggers reset the duration. And then for Moonlight Lullaby, the two-piece set gives energy 20% energy regen, plus 20% in energy regen stat. And then the four piece is when the equiper is a support character and uses an EX special attack or ultimate, the damage dealt by all squad members increases by 18% for 25 seconds. Repeated triggers reset duration. Passive effects of the same name do not stack. So clearly it's going to be the best for probably these two characters. And then that Moonlight Lullaby, it seems like, if you want to reconfigure some of your, slots for your support agents, whether it's Astra, Astra, Nicole, as I mentioned, and stuff like that, right? Here you go. That's basically your thing, or Yuzuha and stuff like that. So yeah. But yeah, this is the first thing. Again, mentioned it before. This is the first half and everything. So yeah, you'll have these. So yeah. Orphie is a fire attack, so we're getting back-to-back attack units, and even for this case, it's like back-to-back attack or same banners attack fire units. So, if that's the case, oh, I'm so sorry. We did get some game updates in terms of, optimization. Swabian Temple Management, optimize material navigation logic and Swabian Temple Management interface. The original Swabian Temple interface will no longer close. Optimizes the code Dipinium notification dot after Swabian Temple restoration reaches level 45. If you're referring to that, means typically when you get that the red exclamation point, it gets annoying and everything, right? But so they're taking that away, so that's going away, so that's not an issue. Because if you have OCD and you're just like, I got to get that red dot away, that's kind of the thing there, right? And then crafting optimization, crafting bang boost sorted out by crafting efficiency, added notifications for crafting. Basically, the live stream said, like, yeah, for crafting items, they're just gonna put the best, or they're gonna recommend the best, bang boo that best does it, right? So if you haven't done it, that's the thing. From the way people talk about it, it sounds like these optimizations for Swabian Temple Management should have been in the game-based game. So maybe that's on the Zenless team for just not trying to rush out 2.0 and everything, instead of you making sure it was absolutely perfect, because it does get strenuous. I'm already completed my Swabian Temple stuff, but I'm not going to deny that it seems like these optimizations could have really helped out the temple management be a lot better, because that's what the community sounds like they're saying. Shortcut function adds a preset configuration to Deadly Assault. We kind of basically, the whole thing where you can have a preset team already for your Deadly Assault, like what we've been seeing in essentially other, presets, whether you're going out into the hollows or other missions and stuff like that. Pretty cool to see that, so you don't have to like freaking make new teams and stuff like that. Expands the response area of shortcut wheel for more convenience, and then processes can now hide unobtained agents with one click in the agent interface, which essentially means if you're not using an agent at all, like you have no aspirations of using it, you can basically take them off the agent select screen, and it basically shortens the characters stuff. Because listen, these games gonna get a lot of characters, and to go through all these characters at some point, if you're not playing a freaking character like a Nekomata, right, because that's the gag, then guess what, boom, just take it off the list so I don't have to see Nekomata. Trust mission display, basically from what it's saying, you can basically quickly check around the various areas, and you see their map even when you pop up the entire like different, you know, the map of where you can quickly just go there, right? They're gonna be there in your icon, and you'll see like, oh, Yanagi is there chilling in Lumina Square. It makes things easier so you don't have to actively check the map and go through each and every freaking city or area, right? To see, oh, is there an agent there? It helps it to where, especially when you're getting new agents, you want to build up their trust level as fast as possible. You can see like, oh, there's Seed right there. Okay, I'm gonna go do it and maybe advance the time and day. Maybe she appears again, right? So that's the thing. Display stand expansion. There's gonna be more display, you know, stuff that's gonna be happening because we're gonna get some events that actually are gonna give some display stuff. So we can now be able to just have more collectibles on the display stand. I wonder if that will be the same for even the one board stand where you can put all the photos of all your memories and stuff like that. So yeah, and the new W engine recommendation feature. It's another thing where again, it's just, you know, they're helping, you know, probably like casual like players that don't know, that don't really go hardcore. They're just going in to play the game, and they're like, well, I don't got enough polychromes or encrypted tapes to pull for the main character's W engine, their main W engine. What are some good backups? You would think this would be, you know, involved in the you know, the optimization tree when it comes to characters in your house to build your characters, but this is a nice set to see. So it's like, well, if you got an Orpheus and a Magus, you know, if you don't go for their W engine, here are their other recommended, you know, W engines that you could potentially go for that the community essentially says. It makes things easier for the fans or the player to know like, okay, I don't have enough currency to pull for the W engine. So what are some backup W engines that I do have that I can maybe put on this character? I may not get the best output, but even then, in some cases, some agents actually get better outputs from other W engines opposed to their main engine. But yeah, that's kind of the thing there. So yeah, that's kind of the stuff. We do got some rewards. We got obviously an encrypted master tape, all new program. You get 10. Obviously, just when you log in daily, then you get obviously your boo pawns for the back half, right? So you can summon for at least the new Bang Boo for the defense force, band of brave Bang Boo. Essentially, this is the Bang Boo mode where you place a Bang Boo somewhere and then they have to destroy like the ethereals, and they can't reach like this area to destroy the home base area. There's some new optimizations involved in it. Now you got miasma like squares and everything. So I did like it. I'll definitely be intrigued to check it out to see how that goes. Problem Soldier Boot Camp. It's another thing, another event that's going to be happening. I do like the art. The art looks really good, right? Treasure Hunt. More stuff, you know, you got here with the freaking Boo that we just dealt with. Spotlight Showdown, Rhythm Rave, and, you know, Wish Bottle at Adrift, which is kind of like with the what we saw in 2.1 before the Alice patch dropped, where basically every day you just basically go burn battery charge, you get the resource, and then you basically use it to spend to get you some polychromes that the Bang Boo is offering. So that's kind of what you got to do there. And then because of the new patch, obviously, with the new resources coming out, you know, obviously you're gonna have advanced bounty routine cleanup, and then you know, the double drops, so you can get your resources if you want to start building and getting resources right now in terms of for Seed and Orpheus and everything. So yeah, and then that one collaboration with that Razor thing. Yes, it's obviously Miyabi focused. You get, I think there's like a Miyabi, like, you know, desk pad, freaking keyboard, and then obviously a chair. I think the one thing I think the community all can agree on, I think like there should have been like headphones, like Miyabi headphones. I don't know why they just didn't do like a headphone set. Like that would make the most sense, but they didn't decide to do that. So that's the thing, right? Apparently it's on pre-order. So you can pre-order this stuff, and then there's also a Miyabi chair, gaming chair. I'm not gonna get any of that, so that's kind of it there and stuff like that. But and then obviously you have your redemption code here, and obviously your redemption code is Obel Squad, It's essentially valid till 8/24. Go put in that freaking code now before it goes away. Otherwise, that's polychromes that you're basically missing. But yeah. Also, I forgot. I want to actually find something, bro. Hold on. I'm going to go to fucking Twitter, bro. I swear. Uh, I could not believe my eyes when I saw this, dude. Like, when I say I could not believe what I was watching in the special preview, dude. I was legitimately like, bro, what in the hell is going on with this game? Right? And that is in regards to one of the deadly assault villains, bro. And I'm just like, Ninja, what are we doing? What is this? What even is this, right? So hold on, let me see if I can pull it up for you guys. Hold on, I'll pause my screen for a second and see if I can find this thing. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. So in the live stream, bro, they showed they obviously showed the what is it, deadly assault bosses, right? And they were just showing like, oh yeah, this is how you can do the custom optimization in terms of, you know, presetting your your characters. They showed this, right? Immediately pops on the screen. I see this thing and I'm like, what in the hell is this? I've seen so many reactors be like, wait, what? Listen, so in the last the last like main villain of the main villain ethereal was the one, you know, like the Ish Wen looking potential, I think Ichang thing, whatever, right? Bro, people were like simping for it just for the booty that was given up, how thick it was. Zenless Zone Zero reveals this and shows me this, and I legitimately am watching the live stream, and I'm like, "What is this?" And I'm absolutely like, I'm like, "Hello? Pause. Hello?" I'm like, does this ethereal have a conscience? Is it not a crazy thing? Is it a controlled ethereal where, you know, maybe like it can actually like, you know, talk and actually be controlled? Like, is it one of these sacrifices, right? And I'm seeing this, I'm like, oh my goodness, bro. Look at the hips. Dude, you thought the last ethereal had Giat, bro. This ethereal has Giat. Dude, Zenless Zone Zero is not running away from the gooning allegations, bro. They just look. They were giving these monstrosity freaking ethereals. Now look at what they're giving us, bro. They're giving us freaking these thick pieces of ethereals that it's like, you know, I'm like, hey, if this ethereal is in control, I wouldn't mind joining the exalters of that one. Look at it. You see this comment down here. I want that ethereal ussy. What? I don't understand, bro. Look, see, people saying wood. Like, what the hell, bro? What the hell? Like, even this one's like, nah, this shit must be fake. There's no chance it's real. um, I okay. Design wise, okay, look at this. See, now look at this. The battle will be in my, oh my goodness, bro. Okay, look, I'm just going off this. There's been some theories, right? There's some theories, right? Some people say this actually probably is the real Magus, the real body of Magus, right? Which would be crazy. My best case is it's Magus. I wonder if it's, people have been throwing out like, what if this is Ela Solde turned into an ethereal? That would be crazy. That'd be a crazy plot twist, right? It's either Magus. I would be interested to see if this is actually Sarah. I don't know. Maybe. I guess we'll see. Yes, it has the gray hair, so I guess some people, like this comment right here says, like, part of it has lore or something. I'm also dreading that this will be a certain playable character mutated. Please don't torture Ishwen. Maybe Ishwen. I don't know. That'd be a crazy plot twist. What if this is actually Ichang? Uh, I don't know, but we'll see. But regardless, I saw that, and I'm just like, bruh, Zenless, chill, bruh, chill. Like ninjas, y'all need to chill, please. Y'all need to chill as I go back to my main screen. But I was absolutely, I was blown away. I was just like, oh, we're making some very thick ethereals, I see. But that's all I gotta say about this update for Zenless. So if you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts. Hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Zenless Zone Zero content. Yes, if I do have availability and I do have time the day it comes out, which it comes out September 4th, which sadly that's on a Thursday. If I have time, which will probably be late at night, I'll probably definitely, if not, maybe sometime in the morning, sometime at night, you know, we'll see. Or may actually, yeah, typically the patches drop of, you know, the night before. So they typically may drop the 3rd, but if it drops on the 4th, then probably expect a live stream probably at night because that's a day that I have to work on. So yeah, I can't call it a work to tell my boss, hey, I'm playing Zenless Zone Zero. But yeah, but anyway, somebody got it for guys. Catch you guys next video. I will see you guys later. Peace. Okay, well, update. Now this is actually, I'm recording this a day later, right? Luckily I did not render the video or everything. So this is extension. Number one, I actually forgot to mention, they're actually buffing Soldier Zero Ambi, because they make an offhanded comment talking about how Ambi's been training. And with the fact that Ambi is getting a buff for her S rank, it's good because a lot of people were talking about how with Seed coming, people were thinking that S rank Ambi was going to start getting power crept. No, it sounds like she's not getting power crept. She's going to be getting a buff of hers, just like how Ellen got to keep her viable enough in the game. The same thing is happening with S ranks S or Sanbi, right? Sanbi or Soldier Zero Ambi, which is good because we did see in the special program she actually can play alongside Seed, and with the fact that Seed does buff other attack units, that's again another good thing. So Ambi is legitimately gonna be good again. So she'll be getting some buffs. They didn't reveal the buffs, but I envision once the game or the patch drops, the buffs will drop as well, and they'll put that in like the patch notes or anything, right? So if you're a Sambi player, well, you're cooking gas. But let's talk about just the craziness that was revealed yesterday night. Now mind you, I'm working my job at night because I work in sports, and we had a game that we had to play, right? So because of it, Zenless Zone Zero just drip marketed like 2 new characters, and I could not believe that we're already getting drip marketing of like 2 new characters already at this point in time. But you know, frick it, man. I'll take it as my thing is loading up. Hold on, I gotta see if it can, the post that can load up. It's loading up slowly, but I was absolutely just shocked, and that is the fact of we've already gotten reveals, our drip marketing for 2.3 already. We just got special program for 2.2 and what to expect, and now all of a sudden we're already getting 2.3 drip marketing, right? So hold on, this thing, we good? I think we're good. Okay, yeah, we're good now. Okay, so we got the newest coming S rank agent, and that is Lucia, who is going to be an ether support unit. Listen, we're getting another support unit. Second, we're getting another ether unit because guys, the devs already said like ether units are going to be very sparingly spare with, and they're going to be smart with how or where to use them. Lucy is going to be a part of the Spook Shack faction. So, or Lucia is going to be a part of the Spook Shack faction. So, Spook Shack is getting another faction member. And then, as I move on to the post, right? We have some comments here. Um, I'll talk about Yidhari. So Yidhari says, before meeting her in person, I always wonder if I was chatting with some fairy tale living in a hollow. Yuzuha says, whether it's story or prank, you need the author's conviction to make it captivating. And her determined writing style can make even ghost stories and sleep talking feel as real and powerful as a news report. The kid in the park whose every move gets blocked by the Dullahan shop, no fair, that's not even a Starlight Night move. And Durant on patrol duty at 6th Street in the dead of night. Hold up, let me get this straight. First you say you're neither a ghost nor a criminal. Second, you're telling me that squatting on the AC unit outside the video store is some kind of necessary security measure. So it sounds like potentially we'd be getting another, I guess, stalker of Bell and Wise who just takes a liking to Bell and Wise. I guess that's the case. And then there she is. Spook Shack Lucia, Tales of 100 Demons, endless mysteries await. Welcome to the Spook Shack. So yeah, now if you go on Twitter, you can actually see gameplay of hers, and her gameplay looks absolutely insane. The way she fights, she don't look like no S rank. She looks like no support unit. Like it's definitely not like Nicole or even Astra Yao in the way she fights. Like it's like if she's like an attacker, slash, well, technically rupture, right? With the fact that what is it? She can actually fight as a support unit. And then I saw her ultimate, bro. Her ultimate is cracked out, right? Now I do have her kit details. Her kit details is, again, she's a ether support unit. And the interesting thing is she is actually going to be buffing rupture units. Now this patch, so you see now in 2.2, right? It's the attack patch. 2.3 is about to be the rupture patch. So attack and rupture units are about to be cooking with gas right now. And right now we only have, now it's going to be 3 rupture units. 2 are obviously confirmed in Ishwen and Manato. I'll talk about Yidhari in a second, right? But 2.3 seems to be the patch of buffing the rupture units because, Zenless devs are like, all right, we love our anomaly units. Our anomaly units are legitimately, they're all broken in their own ways, right? Now, okay, 2.2, we're gonna start buffing our attack units, right? 2.3, we're gonna start buffing our rupture units too, which is great. Now, we could show some love to some stun and some defense units. That's the thing, right? I'm still kind of the belief that I kind of wish that that Seed was more of a defense S rank character, and you could have still put in the buffs that she gives to attack units. Like she would have technically be like an attack unit, but she'd be a default defense. Mostly because I just kind of want more, how can I say this? I kind of want more variety of like typings and stuff like that. Because it seems like, at some point, it's like we were only getting anomaly characters, right? And then now it's like, oh, this is a full attack thing. Now it seems like for 2.3, it's gonna be straight up, it's gonna be straight up rupture right here, right? So Lucia is basically gonna be a support, but technically is a rupture slash rupture. So she's support slash rupture, but she's buffing your rupture unit. So if you got Ishwen, and then eventually when you'll get Manato, and then eventually Yidhara, she's really gonna help you buff. So for all we know, instead of maybe inserting Nicole or Astra or maybe even Pan Yu, right? With a maybe a Jufufu team and especially Ishwen team, right? Just in case if you're running that, right? You can probably switch out either Nicole, Pan Yu, or Astra for Lucia because she actually buffs rupture units, right? And she would buff Ishwen. Maybe this also means you could probably also run a Lucia, Ishwen, and Manato team as well. Or maybe you can even run Lucia, Ishwen, and then Yidhara. What team as well? But I'll get into it. But her kit, again, rupture support. She'll provide 940 sheer damage, plus 30 crit damage, plus 5 HP, plus aftershock damage. And then engine has RES shred, excuse me, and stuff like that. So it's crazy, man. It is definitely, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy that this is the case. Also too, she is a goat Thyran. She is going a goat slash sheep Thyran. Obviously I don't play Zenless, but she definitely from the design, she definitely gives me I think her name was Ganyu, the goat looking girl from Zenless. Now the interesting tidbit is they changed her design. Now the original Lucia design was essentially a nun, right? Like a straight out nun. And I'll show you in when we get to Yidhari, right? Um, and they completely changed her design. So people were like, whoa, 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 I'm not getting my sexy nun because Lucia was in the game files, right? And there were leaks of what she was supposed to look like. Now, when I first saw the post and I saw the name, I'm like, wait, that's Lucia? That's not what you're supposed to look like. But no, they actually did change her design. So it's crazy to see that they changed her design, to say the least. But hey, I respect it. I respect it. Okay, now let's go to Manato. Um, so Manato obviously got revealed. We all figured Manato would end up being a playable agent, especially in the fact that when you played through 2.1, you saw he actually did get involved in the fighting in the story. So yeah, now Manato is a fire rupture character, which yes, I think if you watch one of my videos for 2.1, I was hoping that Manato would be a fire rupture character because I'm sorry, I don't want to see another fire attack character because one, we've already had that at the time of Soldier 11, and now we definitely have that with Orphie and Magus, right? So we don't need a fire attack unit. If he was a fire stunner, I would not be mad. If he was a fire defense character, I guess I wouldn't be mad at that either because I guess that's like a second, maybe better Ben Bigger. But no, he's fire rupture, which I predicted that would be the case. And then another thing that I did predict is he is going to be an A rank agent. So let's read the comments, right? Let's read the comments. Ukanami Yuzuha, who only covered 3 of the 7 precautions. Hey, what were you thinking rushing in like that? The first step in investigating rule-based urban legends is to actually finish listening to the rules, isn't it? Alice says, what an amazing flavor. Thank you, Mr. Komano. I'm sorry, I had to do that funny gag that Yuzuha did. For enlightening me, even after instant noodles can be turned into such a delicious delicacy. Pan Yu, after finding out he didn't get the best bargains at the market stalls, did he use an employee discount or points redemption? Don't tell me this kid's got some mysterious technique on the vendors. No, he probably used some sort of school card that gives him discounts. And then the dream refracted in the mist. You still don't understand the difference between us, do you? I can wield my sword purely for Kamino Manato, while you can. Okay, I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but all right. Um, yeah, I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but he says Tales of 100 Demons. Yeah, Yuzawa, what's the second half? Again, yeah. So, Komino, Manato. He is actually a confirmed A rank because in the reels on YouTube for Lucia, obviously if you watch the like videos and when they drip market characters, if the character model is moving, it's an S rank. If it's not moving, it's an A rank. Which this was another thing that I did predict. That I felt like they were gonna make Manato an A rank character, because it just make the most sense to do it because you got already Yuzuha and Alice as S ranks. Now with the fact that we have for 2.3, it's gonna be another Spook Shack patch, right? As a whole. We got Lucia, who's an S rank, and then Yidhari, who's going to be another S rank. Manato, of course, would be an A rank character, which I'm not mad about. Now, apparently, I saw a post on Twitter. Somebody, some people are upset about Manato being an A rank, but listen, guys, here's some reasons why Manato more than likely is an A rank. So, number one, the reason why Manato is an A rank, I think strictly. Look, man. One, and then funny enough, this Twitter comment said, like, ZZZ lost so much money making Manato an A rank. One, that is accurately false. Because, no, Zenless Zone Zero will still make as much money as they can. Especially based on his Mindscape levels, you're going to probably want to pull for Mindscape, Manato. One, that's one thing. Two, it's actually a lot more easier and it's more free-to-play friendly for Zenless Zone Zero players that are free to play. They don't have to save up for like maybe a patch here and there to try to get an S rank that they really want without trying to spend money to do it. And for this, it's like, well, okay, maybe I can do a pull full. Okay, maybe I don't want to summon for Lucia, but that doesn't mean I don't want to go get Manato, right? And guess what? You can at least have some pulls, maybe use some of the pulls you have to try to go get Manato. Yeah, and this case, I only think you spend money if you're trying to get Mindscape 6 Manato, because especially if you see my summoning videos, like for example Pan Yu, even though I didn't have my Ishwen summoning video because that was all corrupted and everything, I had to go through 2 runs, if not almost 3 extra after I actually got Ishwen to get C6 Pan Yinhu. So I already know my luck for when this banner comes out. It's gonna be fucking terrible, right? But no, you're gonna spend probably as much money trying to get, Mindscape 6, Komino, because you probably want him, and this Mindscape 6 will be probably really good, right? So that's one case right there. You're not losing money. So for fans or Zenless Zone Zero fans that think like, oh, we're losing the game. Zenless Zone Zero character, the game is losing money making Manato an A rank. No, they're not. People are gonna summon for him, and he's gonna be on the Lucia banner, as the hide and pull A rank character you can go get, and everything. It makes him more free to play friendly, more accessible, and again, people always keep crying and complaining. We need more 4 ranks or more A rank characters. We need more A ranks. You only give us S rank characters. They're giving you an A rank, and then people are fucking complaining that Manato is a fucking A rank. I predicted that he would be an A rank character, just strictly from the way he is playing, from what I saw in the story of 2.1. And it just made the most sense. Like, you already had Yuzuha and Alice as S rank characters from the faction. It makes sense. Typically you're gonna have it to where, and I was going off 2.0 with Ishwen and Jufufu being the 2 S rank characters on the banners, and then Pan Yinhu being the A rank. I'm like, okay, they're probably gonna do the same thing. Yuzuha and Alice are gonna be 2 S ranks. Manato, whenever he's revealed, is going to be the A rank. The thing I was only shocked about, like, okay, then why are we not giving Manato as a playable character? Now the fact that we got Spook Shack patch number 2 coming up with 2 more members, you know, now this is the perfect time to drop Manato in, right? So that's the thing. And then the last point, or my last point is about the reason why Manato is an A rank. You can actually, I guess, look up the sales. So for the sales, the 2 S rank male characters we got are Lighter and Hugo. Now we got more. Now, obviously, you know, Lycon is another S rank character, but that's randomized. He doesn't have his own banner. But for like limited banners for male S rank characters and Hugo and Lighter, you can look at the sales that the game made, and they were pretty low. Not a lot of people were summoning for Lighter and Hugo. Now, I do now they're both good units, right? Especially, you know, Lighter with the fact that he can buff fire and ice units. The fact is, people just didn't summon for them. They just didn't, because hey, I'm not, you know, they seem like cool characters, but I'm not going to summon for them. They passed on them. And when you look at the statistics of characters that, you know, Zenless Zone Zero fans were summoning for, it's only the women characters, the girl characters. You want to know why? Because the girl characters are very attractive. And because they're very attractive, it only insensitizes your player base to go summon for them. And again, mostly the Zenless Zone Zero game player base is mostly male demographic, right? There is a female demographic that plays the game, but there is a good chunk of males that play the game. And listen, when a male sees a hot woman or a hot chick, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to summon for the hot girl. The exact reason why initially with Spook Shack, I said, "Oh, I'm gonna pass on this first on Yuzuha. Maybe I'll summon for Alice." Guess what? I pulled for both of them because they're cute girls, right? You know, when I first got into the game, I first got into the game around the Ju Yuen when Ju Yuen was released. I summoned for Ju Yuen because she's hot. People summon for Yanagi because she's got big ass, big boobs, she's hot. Like, what more is there else to say? The player base is mostly a male demographic, and when they see a character with probably a big ass and big boobs, even though it's for Guna reasons, right? Guna reasons, these characters are going to summon them. And that's why you see on the sales charts why people are more willing to spend, you know, actual live money to try to summon for these girl characters, and not only just summon for them just to get just regular, just no Mindscape, right? Some of these people will actually drop hundreds to thousands of dollars just to get Mindscape 6 for these characters. Mostly because it has to do with the fact that I only want to play the character because they're hot. The males, you know, they don't seemingly get. So it seems like every now and then we'll at least get one male S rank, but it looks like going on forward, mostly probably the male characters may just be A rank characters, because I think the devs realize, like, yeah, not a lot of people pull on our male banners. So I think we're just going to keep pushing out these characters who are girls. And I know that may be disappointing to some fans. It's like, well, like, you're over to having an oversaturation of female S rank characters and we barely get any male characters. But look, man, if the demographic has it to where sales are making it to where people are pulling for the girl characters out insane numbers, and they're actually dropping legit money to get these hot girls that, yes, for Guna reasons, you're probably simping for massively, and then you probably go on these websites, Rule 34, you look at it, and then these weird dudes just do whatever they do, right? And I won't get into anything else about that, but you get what I mean, right? If the game devs say like, oh, our female characters are getting a lot of money, they're gonna keep making female character agents. It only makes the most sense. Plus, it's a gacha game. What's the only way to get people to continue spending money and insensitized to play your gacha games? You drop out hot girls. The same thing can be said with Genshin, Withering Waves, Honkai Star Rail, and then the next few gachas that are actually coming out, right? That's just the player base now. And mostly these gacha games are catered to men that just like to see hot girls and summon and play as these hot girls in battle. So, nothing I can do about it. You know, yes, would I like to see more of a mix of male agents and female agents? Yes. But if the sales say the male agents, especially at S rank, they're not doing a lot of good in sales, well, don't get mad. You know, get mad at your own fan base for not wanting to spend money on Hugo and fucking Lighter instead of, spending money on the girls. But again, the devs know what is selling, what is making the game money till this day, and why the game is getting a lot of support. It's because the attractive female designs. There's that. So, let's get into the next member of Spook Shack, which is Yidhari. As I pull her up right now. So I'm going to go over to Twitter and everything. So as this is loading up, I hope it doesn't take me to the top of this, especially the fact that it seems like it's I probably should have clicked on the post, actually. Okay, Twitter's loading up, Twitter's loading up, Twitter's loading up. Yep, it took me to the full on top. I should have clicked on the, should have clicked on the, should have clicked on the thing. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. You just saw her. This, I'm trying not to show gameplay because I don't want to get in trouble. Okay. All right. Yes. Yidhari. Let me go further down. Let me go further down. Okay. Yidhari, right? Let's pull up the photo image, right? So this is okay. So this is gonna be the next newest S rank character in 2.3. That is going to be a part of the Spook Shack faction. She is yet to be she is yet to be drip marketed yet. My best case is she's gonna be drip marketed. I'm recording this Saturday. She's gonna be drip marketed tonight, more than likely. If not, probably Sunday night, right? So she is going to be an S rank ice or S rank ice rupture character, and also too, I'll go into another image of hers. She is a octopus thyran, because obviously if you can see behind, you see these tentacles, right? She is an octopus thyran. So this is the first like sea thyran we've gotten. So she is an octopus thyran, right? So this only opens up the possibilities of getting maybe another like fish or sea creature like thyran character, which is pretty crazy, right? So yes. Now the interesting thing, well, actually, I'm gonna close out. The interesting thing, oh, good God. Is it gonna take me back up to the top? No! No! No, alright. Oh, why did it do that to me again? I don't like how they did that. I do not like how they did that to me. Oh, brother. Oh, man. Come on, come on, come on. Yes, that's how she looks. But okay, as you can see her full render model, you can see. This is what she looks like, and you see the tentacles in the back right here. Yeah, she's an octopus thyran. So that's dope. That's dope, okay? But I'm gonna go back to the main image that I saw. Okay, so this is Yidhari, and if you look next to this, this is her old design, aka this was what Lucia was supposed to look like. Lucia, as you can see, was supposed to be this like gothic nun, this very thick, big boobed Gothic Nun. That was initially supposed to be what you see out of Goat Girl, Lucia. That was her old design with a big ass hammer, right? But then they actually flipped the script right here. So they made Lucia the design she is, but they gave the design, the old design of Lucia, kind of touched up a bit, right? Made it a little bit censored because obviously, as you can see with the old design, it was very, very like out there, right? Obviously, you can see with Yidhari, right? They kind of censored her a bit, mostly covering, the chest area, but you get my thing, right? You get my point, right? Um, but this is actually her old, what she was supposed to look like, what Lucy was supposed to look like. But now that it's Yidhari, this is what Yidhari was supposed to look like. But then they modified the design to look it to make her look like her current design, and she's an octopus siren. And the thing is, I've already seen clips of her fight style, bro. She is crazy. She still has the big hammer too, the big hammer. But again, this whole thing, right? It goes to show you that no, this Spook Shack patch. So with the last Spook Shack patch, it was an anomaly like patch, straight up anomaly main patch. Like Anomaly got its love for Spook Shack patch #1. Then we're gonna get the attack patch with Obel Squad, and then we're going back to Spook Shack, right? And it's gonna be straight out Rupture. She's an ice Rupture unit, so it's another ice unit, as well as the fact that she's a Rupture. So you got now three new Ruptures. You got an Ether Rupture character, technically two if you want to count Lucia, right? You got a Fire Rupture character in Manato, and now you got an Ice Rupture character. So we still are missing out on an Electric Rupture character and a Physical Rupture character, but you get my point there, right? But Yuzuha and Alice, they kind of brought back the physical meta just because of the buffs they give and how much damage that Alice can dish out, right? So with Lucia's kit, she's an Ice Rupture DPS, consumes HP to increase damage, has decibel debuff but gens decibels from HP consumption, deals most damage sub 1/3, engine has 50% conditional. So it sounds like that, I guess that she's actually going to be like using her HP, and the more damage you take, the stronger her attacks will be, right? So that's pretty cool. I also forgot to mention about Manato's stuff. His kit. He's a Rupture Assist damage dealer / DPS. Decreases HP, enters limited time heat state to empower basic attacks and all attacks in general. Has generally low skill multipliers outside his defense assist follow up, but heat state has a big strat steroid. And then they also dropped the W engine information. So Manato's signature W engine, its base attack is 624. HP will increase at 25%. In basically the description for his is increases the wielder's fire damage by 15%. When the wielder's HP decreases, penetration increases by 10% for 5 seconds. For Yidhari's signature W engine, it's a Rupture S rank. Its base attack is 713. She'll gain a 30% HP boost. The description for her W engine is when the wielder's HP decreases, their ice shear damage increases by 20%, stacking up to 3 times and lasting 15 seconds. Each stack has an independent duration, can trigger once every 0.5 seconds. When the wielder's HP falls to 50% or lower of the max HP, crit rate is increased by 15%. So it's clear. Yidhari and even Mana to an extent, the more HP they lose, the stronger they actually get. So I wonder, especially for Yidhari, if her HP drains, and it stops at some point, so then you can get the most bang out of her buck. But she seems like she's gonna be a pretty strong Rupture character. That's why I was saying, like, maybe you can pair her with Lucia and Ishwen, and oh my god, that team could be absolutely insane with the damage you can do. And then Lucia's W engine, S rank support engine. It's called Foraging Dream Singing Furnace. Its base attack is 713. Again, just like with Yidhari's, you get a HP 30% boost. And when so the description is when Ether Veil is activated or extended on the field, the wielder grants all team members an effect that causes their damage to ignore 20% of the target's all type RES. Lasts 30 seconds and duration is refreshed upon reactivation. Now, the leaks does mention what Ether Veil. It's gonna be a new ZZZ mechanic. So Ether Veil, basically, they said the easiest way for me to explain is it's basically if you watch just Jujutsu Kaisen, it's like domain expansion, right? Ether Veil is a new mechanic triggered by agents that transforms the battlefield. Similarly to how Vital View does, there can be different kinds of Ether Veil, but I think only one can be activated at a time. Currently, only Ether Veil health exists, increasing all agents' max HP by 5%. Agents with W engine and others can also gain additional effects while Ether Veil or specific Ether Veil is active. For example, when Yidhari is in Ether Veil, health, the charging speed of her attack of our whole basic increases. When Lucia uses EX special while in Ether Veil, health the duration of Ether Veil health is extended by 12 seconds. Currently, only Yidhari and Lucia can create Ether Veil. Health, Ether Veil health. Lucia can also increase the duration of Ether Veil health as well. So it sounds like that way it actually in a weird way increases your health and maybe potentially help heal you. But yeah, man, I saw these drip marketing stuff and I was actually pretty happy that I was pretty happy and content that I definitely did not need to do anything else, right? So again, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and I think I'm going back to. And then one more thing. If you're wondering how can I save potential money if I'm actually want to use money for certain, things and stuff like that, go over here, use this website, and go to www.ldshop.gg. Essentially, it is an actual verified, quality link website that you can use to purchase, stuff in game that you can get actually at cheaper rates. So, for example, right here you have the for example, you have like the full-fledged this is the full-fledged monochrome total, right? You can get the most monochrome, right? Which is in the game $99, right? Basically $100. Here, as you can see, you get it slashed, and it's basically $84. They take 15% off, right? So guess what? Instead of spending that $100 to try to get you maybe a full pack of monochromes, guess right? Come here, you can get it for $80. So you actually save $20 less than what you initially were. And even if you like, for example, internet membership, which I always get, that gives you 90 polychromes every day. Look at here, in the game it's $5, but here you can at least get it for a little bit cheaper at $4, right? And also too, I'll leave a link which I can invite. I'll have a link that's like my own share link. I'll put it in the description below. You click that link, you'll essentially get a 15. If you click that link, sign up for and create an account for LD Shop, you'll essentially get a 15% discounted code, and you can use it for wherever you want. So if you want to use it, if you're still getting some Alice summons in, if you haven't summoned for Alice, you can use it on maybe getting the shirt, or maybe you want to use it to get the Alice guarantee bundle, right? Even though that's still a lot of fucking money, right? But you get my point. And you see, you can use it on any of these items, in-game currency items in the game. I know I actually used one on an Internaut membership 3 times. So it's like over 3 days. And then all you got to do is essentially you got to select your server of where you're playing Zenless, right? So obviously I'm in America, right? and then essentially you just put in your game UID, which if you go into the game, it should be in the top bottom lower part of your corner, or you can just go into your or you can just go into your account, your account in Zenless, and you'll just type in that game UID. You then hit top up, and then it basically runs. You put in your card information, runs it, and immediately sends that purchase to the game. And you'll get what you get, and then that's basically it. The monochromes will upload right to your account, and there you go. It's a very reliable site. I saw other Zenless Zone Zero YouTubers that I watch use LD Shop and everything. I tried it out. It's great. Honestly, when I want to go spend money for something like this, whether it's getting my internet membership or maybe I need to go get monochromes because I'm fucking losing the 50/50s, I go here to spend my money, because you actually get cheaper rates as opposed to in the game. And again, it's all instant delivery. It's, reliable. It's a safe way. This is not like a bad website that steals your money and doesn't give you what you obviously rightly deserve, and everything. So, definitely use this if you want to find a way to save some money, if you like to spend money on the game. So yeah, but I'll put that link, that share link, in the description below. You just have to hit that share link. If you hit the share link, sign up, you'll essentially get 15% off coupon, and you can use it to whatever you'd like. So hey, you can use it, keep that coupon on you till the 2.2 patch drops, and maybe you use it on Seed or Orphie, right? So that's kind of it and everything. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about when it comes to the Zenless 2.2 stuff and a little bit of 2.3. I know this is a long drawn out video, but I just wanted to make the mention of this. So yeah, but now that I saw the Spook Shack characters, I'm definitely not summoning for the freaking Opal Squad character. So maybe I'll go after Seed and Orphie and Magus on the rerun whenever they show up. But listen, man, Spook Shack is my favorite. It's definitely my second favorite faction. It's honestly probably getting up there to maybe actually being my favorite faction of the entire fucking game. Because I think my favorite faction, honestly, might have to be, it might be Yunqui Summit, or it's between Yunqui Summit and, oh man, actually I don't know, man. I don't know. I like the Cunning Hairs, and then Crime Investigation. I think, honestly, I still think the Cunning Hairs might still be my favorite faction, and then it's Yunqui Summit, and then it's probably gonna be Spook Shack. But the fact that I like Alice and Yuzon, they really like grew on me. I can't wait to see what Yidhari and Lucia bring to the team. So yeah, like, and then again, Spook Shack is gonna be another team that's gonna have Yuzuha, Alice, Lucia, and then Lucia, Manato, and Yidhari. They're gonna have five members in their faction, bro, which is one of the bigger factions, right? Because most factions have around 4 members, right? I think they might be the biggest faction in the game to date with the most characters. So I'm definitely intrigued to see what happens at 2.3. Yes, I'm gonna have to get through 2.2, but 2.3, man, that's the thing. So the good thing is I'm gonna be saving up a bunch of polychromes so I can have both of these things. That's the good thing. But other than that, I'm gonna got it for guys. If you guys have a video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Zenless Zone Zero content or any other anime content I upload to the channel. Till then, guys, stay safe out there. Have a great rest of your day or your night. Till then, guys, peace.